Hey folks, Peter here. Thank you for joining me on the channel once again for another video. This time we're going to be installing some car parts. I promised you that. The one that we're going to get to last is actually going to be the clock replacement that I ordered. This thing, I don't know if it's been open or not. It has the sticker on it still. I did see it working, so hopefully it works when I install it. Before we get to it, I've got some other stuff I want to get installed. I already got a start on it. I'm a little bit sweaty right now if you couldn't tell. I've already been working on the car. I wanted to make sure I knew how to do it. I'm kind of teaching myself. And in the process, I want to be showing you guys how to do it. So hopefully this works out. Maybe if you need to know how to install these parts, maybe this will help. I don't know. We'll see. Also, because I broke the microphone mount for my camera on this microphone that I'm using right now, I'm just going to do a voiceover. I've done this one other time, so it should be okay. We'll see how it works out. I'm excited for it. I just don't really feel like recording audio out in the garage with neighbors all out and about. Camera battery's dead here, so I gotta get going. But let's go get some parts installed and see if this clock works. So here we are at the car. I've got a 14mm, a 12mm, and a 10mm right here, along with flathead screwdriver and a Phillips screwdriver. You can probably already guess what we're doing to the car. You can see right in the front there. We're installing leather seats. So on the bottom there's a little patch that kind of just covers up the mounts here, just so things don't scratch. 10mm, you gotta break those free. Nothing really to it, just two little brackets, two 10mm bolts. Once those are out, this seat will pop right out. Just like that. There's little hooks on them. And that's kind of what lines them up. But there you go. You can see the holes there, and then there's little clips. They just sit right in there. I'm going to go ahead and tilt these seats forward. I didn't know these did this for the longest time. On the side, there's this little cap right here. There's a 12mm bolt underneath that. And on the back side, there is a panel with a Phillips screw. Right here, just one Phillips screw, and there's this little plastic piece that I'm going to pop off. You'll see in a second. How am I doing with this voiceover stuff? Is this good? Little plastic piece. Underneath is two 14mm bolts. I didn't really film it. It's just literally two bolts. As you can see, I had to put some effort into it, moving the whole car. And once these are out, the seat will be free. And on the back side, the fabric is held in with these two sections that are kind of barb hooked in, if that makes sense. Like there's a little hook that keeps it on the pole. There's this little strip here to hold the seat belt and the buckle. All you have to do is just work out this clip. Fabric section comes off, and that seat is free. Basically, installing these seats, we're just going to do this in reverse. Oh, listen to that lovely leather sound. So basically, all I'm going to be doing here is putting the clips back on for the edges of the fabric. These aren't really seen, it just kind of holds everything together. And then there's a flap that I've held back with a screwdriver right now. Put that side on, and then the bracket on the far side of the camera here, near me. You just want to make sure that bracket is underneath the leather and lined up with the plate that the bolts are going to go into. Anchor in the 12mm bolt right there, so the seat has some stability while I put in the 14mm. And you do have quite a range of motion here. Also in the video, I never put the caps back on the edge of the armrest there. Don't worry, they're in there now. Seat cushion, bottom, same deal, just everything's in reverse here. Just line up those little hooks. And it's just the two 10mm bolts, and this seat is as good as in. The one end was a little funky looking, so I had to get the flashlight out just to help me see everything. Tighten those up, and the seat's as good as in right here. Make sure your tools are out of the way, fold everything down, and that seat's in. Completely forgot that I had to tuck in the whole seatbelt there. Gotta re-roll it up. There's no straps to fit through. It just sits between the two sections. Nifty little spot to tuck that into. Completely forget that I had the patch of fabric on the bottom. This again is just, it's got some Velcro, and the other end is a little hook. There's a little slat that you stick that hook on. Make sure that fabric looks nice and straight, covers up those mounting spots. Again, this is just so things don't get all scratchy underneath the seat. And we're done. Here's the front seat. I kind of skipped some of the steps, and dropping the seat too. A couple 14mm bolts there. Under the seat tray, I will be putting that on the new seat. Get that out of there first though. Underneath the seat, I found I have no clue how old those Mike and Ikes are. A couple pennies too. Let's just go and throw them right back on the floor. Seat back, again, two 14mm bolts on the side. This is the reclining side. That's where this bracket is. And to get that top 14mm bolt, you literally have to pull the foam of the seat up and off the bracket. The whole bracket that the seat sits on to get to it. There we go, that one's free. And on the other side, 12mm bolt. Here I'm putting it on the new seat. Reverse the process again. Make sure you have enough room to pull the seat back so you can get that 14mm bolt in there. Two of them. It's a pretty straightforward process. You can see you really have to, and I could cut it, but I don't want to cut my seats. So basically you just had to work the whole thing up and send it home. So you can see I dumped everything out of the under seat bucket there. Made sure that little side trim piece was on out of the car. It actually made it a little bit easier. Here I am installing the 4 12mm bolts. Also, if you didn't tell, I got out the impact wrench. I was tired of doing all this stuff by hand. 3, 2, 1, done. Look at that. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Here I'm taking off the bracket on the bottom of the seat. This is what holds the tray in. You can see on the left and right sides there. There's the rails that the basket, bucket, whatever you want to call, sits in. 4 Phillips screws. The new seat had the same matching holes. Was able to reuse it. Goes right back in. You gotta love that leather sound when it starts squeaking around like that. Seat wasn't going back far enough, so nice little tap, get it into place here. Again, same process, just slide the seat into place. 14mm bolts on the side. Hey Pete. Send those on home. I didn't film the close side, it's the same deal. Just 2 14mm bolts, line them up.
Hi.
And that's the seats installed. I know it's kind of anticlimactic. Here I am taking out the dash panel that has the clock in it. If you don't like me using a screwdriver, you can just go ahead and look away at this. It's just 4 clips on the bottom there that hold it in place. Once you do that, there are 2 clips. One is for the clock, one is for the hazard button. And I kind of struggled with this one a bit. It's a little clip that you have to push in, and I just wasn't having a good angle on it. You're gonna see me struggling with it there. Turn it around, way easier to grab. Wiggle it right out. 2 Phillips screws here to get the clock out. It's pretty straightforward. It's actually really easy to get to this clock. 1 screw there and 1 screw in the other corner. You can kind of see it above where the clip is in, right there. Take those out, and it literally just pops right out. It's that easy. New clock going in. I can confirm that it does work. I had to do some work on it, but it does work. This car is looking great these days. Wow, that easy. Again, 2 Phillips screws. Put those clips back in. And just line this up with your dashboard. And we're done. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's video. Real fun project. Leather seats. As soon as I saw that this car had those, I needed to get them. Now, I believe people have been saying that they are OEM seats. Obviously, those are a direct fit. I reused the brackets that were already in the car. But on the back of the seats, it says classic soft trim or something like that. So I think it was a company that made them. So I don't want to say that it's an OEM. It's like an OEM plus or something. Another cool thing is I did find the original remote for the car. And also a valet key. It's like this little teeny little key. So I've been using this lately. I thought this was kind of cool. I don't use the auto start in the summertime, so I don't have to worry about that. Pretty fun to find this. I've got like 3 or 4 sets of keys for this thing now. It is what it is. It's nothing special. It's just a little silly remote. Opens the trunk, opens the doors, all that fun stuff. And just a nice OEM key. So I didn't film putting in the driver's seat. I'm actually working on that right now. It's got a rip right in the center that I'm trying to fix. It's split from the seam, so I'm just trying to fill that in. It's not gonna look perfect, but it should work. I mean, I'm gonna be sitting in it most of the time anyway, so it's not like anyone's gonna notice that it's there. But I do wanna clean it up a little bit and kind of seal it so that the foam inside isn't showing through. So yeah, leather seats in the car. I think it's a nice little touch. It's a minimal thing, but it's also a huge thing. Now I just have to keep up on leather conditioner and Armor All or whatever products are out there, cleaning them and just kind of making sure they're looking nice. I think it should be fun. I will have to see how they handle the sun and getting hot. Hopefully it's not a huge deal, but hey, it's leather seats. That's all I've got for today's video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy that. Do you have leather seats in your car? How do you manage them? Do you have rips and tears? Have you repaired those before? Tell me all that stuff. Leave it in the comments down below. As always, and again, thank you for watching. Hopefully, jeez. Thank you again for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, all that stuff. I have to say it every time. It's kind of a thing. That's all I got. See you guys next time. Have a good one.